Okay, guys, we're going to talk about zeros of polynomials. Here we go. All right, so zeros is the x value where the polynomial equals 0. We've talked about this at the beginning, but these are numbers that when you plug in, you get 0. We can find a number to see if it's a 0 by doing division. If we do synthetic division and we get 0, then that number is a 0. It's a 0 of that polynomial. It's a solution. It is a number where the polynomial equals 0. And we've done this. To find the solution to an equation, we set it equal to 0 and solve. Now, first degree, the easy ones, we just set these equal to 0 and solve. And this is easy. Just set it equal to 0 and solve. And so we add 7 to both sides, divide both sides by 3, and we get 7 over 3. This is the 0 of this polynomial. This is a first degree polynomial, and I have 1 0. All right. The second one, if I want to solve for 0, this is a second degree polynomial. Now, this one, I can't just do like I did on number 1. I have to do something different, but you know how to do this. This one actually factors, and that's the important thing. We want to factor them first. Factors make life easier. And so this one actually factors into 2 factors. And these each produce a 0. So we have x minus 5 equals 0, and x minus 2 equals 0. So 5 is an answer, and 2 is an answer. Okay, so now this is a second degree polynomial, and notice we have 2 answers, and we have 2 factors. And if you'll look at the factors and look at the answers. There is a connection there. And when we learned this the first time, we saw that connection. There's that subtraction, there's that change of signs. Okay, so 5 and 2 are the zeros. X plus 5 and x minus 2 are the factors. And so this is a second degree polynomial. This next one is also a second degree polynomial, and I can solve it just like I did the others. Set it equal to 0 and solve, and I can also factor this one. And maybe you can't, maybe you need a little help, but that's okay. It factors. There we go, got that factored out. And if I want to know the zeros, I can take each factor, set it equal to 0 and solve. And I get 2/3 for this one, and I get -3 for this one. So again, the factors, the zeros, and the degree. Okay, the degree. So now these are the easy ones. All right, we need to move up into x to the 3rd powers. All right, x to the 4th powers. These are answers to x to the 2nd ones. We can factor this one and get answers. What if you don't know how to factor? Well, if you don't know how to factor, you can still get the answers because you have a quadratic formula that'll get you the same answers, and you know that. And there are other methods for solving quadratics if you don't want to factor. You still get the same answers. Okay? And so, if we know a 0, then we know a factor, and we can divide to find more factors. The degree tells us how many factors there are, whether they're quadratic. If it's quadratic, we have 2 factors. If it's a 3rd degree, there's a possibility of 3 factors. If it's a 4th degree, we're looking at 4 factors, and that's how many zeros we're going to have. All right. So if we're looking at a 3rd degree polynomial, we're looking for 3 answers. For 3rd degree, we're looking for 3 answers. Okay, so now what we can do is, here's a third degree. We'll do this example in the next video because I don't have room for this one, but we have x to the third plus 2x to the second minus 5x minus 6. And we want to set it equal to 0 and find the zeros. There are going to be 3 answers. Now, if I know one answer, I don't know how to factor this guy. I can't factor this guy. But if I know one answer, I can divide. And then once I divide, I'm not going to have a third degree anymore. I'm going to then have a quadratic, and I'll be able to factor it. So third degree, we're looking for 3 answers. If somebody tells me one of the answers, then I can divide by that number and have a quadratic. So we'll do this problem in the next video. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and give you a hint for those of you that want to stop and try it. One answer to this problem is 2. And so now in the next video, you'll see it worked out. We'll see how we find the other 2 answers. Okay? All right. This is tough, but y'all can do it. It's just math. It's just math, y'all.